He arrived expecting warmth, laughter, and flickering firelight, but the village was silent. Meals still warm, fires still burning, and every person gone. No struggle, no footprints, nothing. This wasn't a ghost story, it truly happened, and even after 90 years, no one has ever explained why. Deep within the frozen wilderness of northern Canada lay a small Inuit village called Anjikuni. It was a place untouched by time, wooden huts buried under snow, smoke drifting lazily from chimneys, laughter echoing across the icy lake. Families gathered around fires, telling stories as the northern lights shimmered overhead. Hunters prepared for long journeys, children played near the frozen banks, and for generations, the village lived in perfect harmony with nature. But legends often say peace never lasts long in the north, because one night, under that same shimmering sky, something unimaginable happened. And by morning, Anjikuni would no longer exist. In November of 1930, a fur trapper named Joe LaBelle made his way through the biting cold toward Anjikuni, a place he had visited many times before. The snow crunched under his boots. The air was razor sharp, and the light of the setting sun turned the lake into silver glass. He expected to hear voices, barking dogs, the crackle of fire, the sounds of life, but as he reached the first hut, the silence was deafening. No children, no laughter, no movement, just wind whistling through the doorways. He stepped inside. The fire still burned. A pot of stew simmered over glowing coals, and clothing hung drying by the fire. Everything felt alive, except the people. It was as if the entire village had vanished in the middle of their evening routine. Joe called out, but only his own voice answered. The emptiness pressed against him like the cold itself. Something was terribly wrong. LaBelle moved from hut to hut, calling names he knew, but no one replied. Plates sat on tables, half-eaten meals waiting for their owners. A rifle leaned against a chair, untouched. Even the sled dogs, loyal to their masters, were still there, frozen in place, tied to posts, starved to death. He stepped outside and scanned the snow. There were no footprints leading away from the village, no signs of struggle, no trail of escape, just endless white. Near the edge of the settlement, he noticed something else. The village graveyard had been disturbed. The snow was scattered, graves dug up, and the bodies were gone. A chill ran through him that had nothing to do with the cold. That night, Joe LaBelle fled through the storm to find help, but what he would bring back was a mystery no one could solve. When LaBelle reached the nearest Royal Canadian Mounted Police post, he was half frozen, terrified, and shaking. The Mounties listened carefully, then gathered their men and supplies. Within days, they arrived at the village, and every word Joe had said was true. Fires still burned. Food sat untouched. No one was there. The dogs were dead, still tied in place, and the graveyard empty. They searched for tracks in every direction but found nothing, not even the faintest mark in the snow. It was as if hundreds of people had simply vanished into thin air. As news spread, locals told the Mounties something strange. On the night of the disappearance, blue lights had been seen hovering over the horizon, moving silently across the sky. Some said it was a meteor. Others whispered that something else had come. The world tried to make sense of what happened at Anjikuni, but every theory raised more questions. Some said starvation or disease forced the villagers to flee. But if that were true, why leave behind rifles, food, and shelter, everything needed to survive the Arctic winter? Others believed a sudden blizzard could have driven them away, but the weather that night was calm, and the snow around the village remained untouched. Then came the supernatural and extraterrestrial theories. Witnesses saw blue lights that pulsed like living stars. UFO researchers claimed the villagers were taken not by men, but by something far beyond our understanding. Skeptics laughed, yet the details, warm fires, missing bodies, were never explained. Some Inuit elders believed it was spiritual. Their legends spoke of voices in the wind that could lead entire tribes away into the afterlife. Maybe, they said, the villagers followed those voices and never came back. And then there was the hoax theory. Years later, some journalists claimed Joe LaBelle's story was exaggerated or invented, but others argued that multiple trappers and Mounties confirmed it. No matter how you look at it, none of the theories fit completely, and that's what keeps the mystery alive to this day. Anjikuni isn't the only place to vanish without a trace. History is full of disappearances that defy logic. In the 1500s, the Roanoke colony in America vanished, leaving behind a single word carved into a tree, Croatoan. The mighty Maya civilization, once home to millions, collapsed suddenly, their great cities swallowed by jungle. Even the ancient Indus Valley civilization fell silent. No war, no disaster, just disappearance. Each story carries the same haunting echo: entire societies erased, their traces fading like footprints in snow. Perhaps Anjikuni is not an isolated mystery, but part of a pattern, a warning written across history. Because every time we think we've uncovered all the world's secrets, another one slips away into silence. Today, Anjikuni Lake remains quiet. No huts, no fires, no signs that anyone ever lived there. Just wind, ice, and silence. Those who have traveled to the site say the air feels heavy, like the land remembers something it cannot tell. Some claim to have seen faint lights moving in the distance, flickering softly beneath the northern sky. Others say they've heard whispers carried by the wind. Whether it's imagination or memory, the truth sleeps beneath the snow untouched, unseen, and unsolved. Maybe they followed something into the snow, into the sky, or into another world entirely. Maybe they're still out there, wandering beneath the northern lights, waiting for someone to find them. The world may never know what happened that night. But one thing is certain: silence has a story, and the one left behind at Anjikuni still speaks. Do you think the villagers vanished naturally, or did something beyond this world take them? Share your theory in the comments. I read everyone. And if you love real unsolved mysteries like this, hit subscribe, because history still hides more stories that were never meant to be forgotten.